Jamaica I love, and not another. Jamaicans may change, but I will never. Separation be our last. Darling, please forget me not.
Winston Cooper, more commonly known as Count Machuki, is regarded by many music historians as the father of DJing and rap. He revolutionized the role of the sound system disc jockey from being merely a selector to one who used a microphone to toast over track, make sweet vocal sounds, and interact with his audience. In this video, I will briefly look at the life of this talented DJ whose career in music was active in the 1950s and 60s. I will specifically look at his death registration form to see the cause of his death in the year 1994. I am Nigel D. Salmon. Welcome to Jamaican Chapter. This is the death registration form of Count Machuki. I will examine this form to see the causes of his death. As you know, a death registration form will show basic information about the deceased as well as the causes of death. We'll start by looking at the top of the form. At the top of the form it says death registration form, death in the district of Kingston, Parish, Kingston. In the first section, it says place of death, Kingston Public Hospital. So, Count Machuki died at Kingston Public Hospital, KPH. In the second section at the top here, over on the right, it says usual residence of deceased, and they wrote 2E Sarah Street, Almond Town, Kingston. Of course, usual residence of deceased means this is the person's residential address. And in Count Machuki's case, he was living, his residential address was 2E Sarah Street, Almond Town, Kingston. I'm gonna go back over to the left side of the form, and I'll be looking first at his basic information. So going down on the left side of the form, we see Particulars of deceased. Date of death 11th November 1994. So Count Machuki died on November 11, 1994. That was the date on which he died. Below that, we see full name, and they wrote Winston Cooper. So his full name, his full birth name is Winston Cooper. And of course, the name Count Machuki was a name that he went by in the music business. Many artists and DJs in the music business will have a stage name, and so Count Machuki was his stage name. But his name at birth is Winston Cooper. Below that, we see sex, and they wrote male. So we all know he was a male. Beside that, you see condition, and they wrote bachelor. So condition, it refers to marital status, and his marital status was bachelor. And a bachelor is a male who was never married in his lifetime. Below that, we see age, and they wrote 62. So Count Machuki was 62 years old at the time of his death. So he was born in 1932 in Kingston, Jamaica. We'll continue on. Below age, we see occupation or calling, and they wrote salesman. Not many people know him as a salesman, but you have to understand that his involvement in the music business was during the 1950s and the 1960s. So after attending school, and he attended school in full, though he was not from a rich family and they had financial problems, but he attended school in full. And after leaving school, he got involved with different sound systems in Kingston. His passion for music led him to become one of the pioneers of the musical style known as deejaying. And he's often credited as the first man who started the act of deejaying, over music. Continue on the form, it says birthplace Kingston. So as I said before, he was born in 1932 in Kingston, and that's the parish in which he died. When he died leaving a daughter. As far as I know, and from all accounts, there wasn't any other child that was mentioned. And when he died, that daughter, his daughter's name is Carla Cooper. She was by his side to the end. In fact, she's the one who signed this death registration form. Let's take a look at the bottom here of the form, at the section where it says informant. And the informant is the person who provides the information about the deceased, like the age, occupation, marital status, and so on. And that person also signed the death registration form. So here at the bottom, where it says informant, it says name and surname, Carla Cooper. Qualification, daughter, causing body to be buried. So she is the one who's listed as the person who's causing the body to be buried. And if you look over here on the right side of where they state her residence, it's the same as Count Machuki. So the both of them were living together, living in the same house. And as his daughter, she was taking care of him. So they were living at the same address in Almontown. There it says 2E Sarah Street, Almontown, Kingston. And below that, she signed it. She signed her name, Carla Cooper. Okay, so she is the daughter of Count Machuki. Let's now go over to the right side of the form, where we will look at cause or causes of death. And here on the right side of the form, we see cause of death. So it says cause of death, immediate cause, epilepsy due to metastasis to brain, due to carcinoma lung. So there are three causes here. So let's look at each of them separately. So it says cause of death, immediate cause, epilepsy. What is epilepsy? Epilepsy is a disorder of the brain characterized by repeated seizures. So that's epilepsy. And it says epilepsy due to metastasis to brain. What is metastasis? Metastasis is the spread of cancer from one organ or tissue to another. So, metastasis to the brain, as stated on the form here, it means that his cancer was now affecting his brain. And what was that cancer? It's listed below that. They wrote carcinoma lung. And this is described as contributory. So this is a cause that contributed to his death. They say carcinoma lung, which in simple term means lung cancer. So here is what happened. Count Machuki developed lung cancer. The cancer spreaded to his brain. That is why the doctor wrote metastasis to brain, meaning cancer cell spreaded to the brain and caused a malignant growth. Such growth on the brain was what caused the epilepsy. So that's what happened. So we understand from his death registration form that Count Machuki died from epilepsy caused by lung cancer. Thanks for watching, and remember to like, comment, and subscribe for more interesting videos like
Jamaica I
this.
love, and not another. Jamaicans may change, but I will never. Separation be our lot. Darling, please forget me not.